going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the preview for Man United versus Spurs. I'm here with Abbi. Listen, obviously the game is not here. We've already won here, so we've completed that.
I think it's safe to say that yes, you won the battle, but we won the war because
you got a good manager in the end.
Antonio Conte.
Then Ralph, we trust.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but we were doing some filming on DR Sports for some preview stuff, and had to be the location. So made sense to do this today and do it now. Look, this game, I don't like this game because of where we're at.
Yeah.
So I'm not confident right now. But Spurs, give me the Spurs perspective, because yes, okay, you battered Everton 5-0. They're very poor.
Very poor.
You battered Leeds 4-0. They're very poor.
Yeah.
In between that, went out to Middlesbrough, just like we did.
And lost to Burnley.
And then before that, it was like, before the City game, it was like 3 defeats on the bout. So you're like this as well. But Harry Kane's doing his thing right now. Son's doing okay. Give me the Tottenham perspective coming to this game.
I think exactly what you just said. I mean, my perspective on this is that you can't really go by the Everton result. You can't go by the Leeds result because they're so incredibly inconsistent. And you couldn't also go by the Manchester City result because we've got such a good record with City. It's just kind of one of those fluky things that we seem to do every season. But on the whole, I'd say we're very similar. We're very similarly matched, but you just have a far better squad. I think with Spurs, Bentancur has definitely proved already.
He looks all right, doesn't he?
Yeah, that he's definitely someone that fits in well into this kind of Spurs Conte side. Kulusevski, another one. I wasn't too sure about him, but he's actually, assisting pretty much, I think, most of the games he's actually been here in the Premier League. So I'm happy with those 2 signings. I think they've definitely strengthened. I think the problem is that we sold so much of the dead wood, which was needed to be done, but didn't enforce it big enough. So I think that we're kind of on a bit of a tightrope in terms of if someone gets an injury, then where do we look? We saw Bentancur miss a game or 2, and then we saw Harry Winks come in, and those kind of things fall apart. Oliver Skipp's been out since the beginning of the year, which is a really big miss, as Spurs fans will tell you, despite our little discussions over Oliver Skip.
Yeah, I don't really rate Oliver Skip.
He doesn't rate Oliver Skip, but
Spurs fans love him, so they watch him week in, week out.
And Norwich fans, he was on loan there, he was there for the season, so he can't be doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
I would say that I don't have fear about going to Old Trafford. I know you've kind of won the last few games against us. The last 2, I know we spanked you 6-1 at Old Trafford, but the 2 games in between, they were very marginal. They weren't, I'd say, convincing wins. And the last game that we had here, when it was, 3-0?
Yeah.
I mean, we were
that
just
we
were just
terrible,
and things had to change at that point. But I don't have that fear, kind of what we used to have, going to Old Trafford.
Nobody does.
No one does. It's not really a fortress anymore. So I think that both sides are, as I said, even in terms of being extremely inconsistent.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen on the day. It's very, very tough to predict because, as I said, even though you've got a far better squad than that, your inconsistency shows through all the time.
It's the one thing that has been consistent about Man United.
That you've been completely inconsistent, exactly. And I think the only